afternoon, good evening. To pause amidst a continual barrage of fresh horrors is a radical act. We can stop the constant activity to honor the dead, the lost, the discarded, the bombed, the starving, the deported, the endings. We can stop the constant activity to defy the systems reliant on this violence and fear and greed. Let us pause and be confused, despairing, rageful, grieving, and perhaps still hopeful together. In these 15 minutes, this is your time to just listen, to receive. Please do whatever you need to do to be comfortable and to be present to yourself. Each day, Monday through Friday, I offer a word or a theme and a question to take into your day ahead. And then I share a poem, a reading, an exercise based on that theme, and we follow the alphabet. And so here are some of the questions that we have been asking. My pace, my tone is intended to be slow and deliberate. We want this 15 minutes together to be an oasis in your day, a break from the grind, a respite from the anxiety, and to offer a practice that is grounding and regulating and feasible to fit in the busy days. We want this time together to be a chance to reconnect with yourself amidst everything that's happening. And we do this so that we are more connected to those around us, as well as the places and spaces that we inhabit throughout our days. We invest in this reconnection because between us is where I believe possibility lives. And this practice is offered at no cost, though I'll share some links later, and people are always welcome to get in touch. Our word for today is weaving. What collective assets are you protecting at this time? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about an organization in Guatemala that I had the pleasure to know the leaders of in my career. I'm just going to read a little bit from Smart Risks about this group and about some of the first time I really started to encounter them as a grant maker. AFEDES at the time was putting a lot into microcredit, savings and loans. That was the thing that everybody was funding at that time, income generating skills, all that kind of stuff. However, they began to see that some women were deeper in debt at the end of the program than at the start. Women were not participating as actively outside their homes as AFEDES had hoped. Inside their homes, nutrition levels were not improving. In fact, more women were approaching AFEDES to ask for support around domestic violence than for economic concerns. Millie van Asbroek, interim director of AFEDES, explains, quote, "We realized the importance of promoting the rights of women as they were continually violated at every level. It was necessary for us as women to regain our self-esteem, know our rights, stop violence against us. We realized that as women, we did not feed ourselves well. We produced just to sell, not thinking about family consumption. We were sick. Conventional agriculture practices were polluting the environment. We live in a world where money is the main thing. Women's caring work is not valued, so we began to work for our freedom and autonomy." This pivot that AFEDES made, and I will also say that this is the Asociación Femenina para el Desarrollo de Sacatepéquez, and that is the acronym AFEDES, or the Women's Association for the Development of Sacatepéquez. Because when they turned towards the rights of women that were larger than just economic, they took on survivorship. They took on food sovereignty. They took on not just income generating, but economic justice. They started to engage in anti-mining campaigns. And then they got into something really important, which they started to reclaim and protect, which was intergenerational knowledge production and transfer. And these weavings that you see here in the photo was worthy of protection because fashion companies were coming and taking these designs and making big money off of the trends. And AFEDES grew so strong in their work that they actually started to bring together women weavers across the country, not just in their region, and became a national movement of weavers, and even got bills through the parliament and the Congress, and just really just so powerful. And to watch the evolution from sort of service provider to movement leader in their own leadership was a very long journey. But it was so beautiful to watch over the years and to see how it continues to strengthen. The weaving part is the thing that kind of held so much power. And their motto, their thing that was kind of keeping this movement moving, was that our weavings are the books the colonizers could not burn. And they say, we have creations that date from more than 1,000 years BC. Textiles worn by us indigenous Mayan women contain certain symbols that are still replicated as part of the philosophy and worldview of our people. These are links that convey our history, our colors, our relationship with nature, our geometry, and all the science involved in weaving a textile. It is an art, and it is a science that has not been recognized until now. So exciting to bring this forward at this time. There's just so much strength and power in it. And I want to read another quote from Miliban. Our aspiration is the buen vivir, which means a full life of happiness. More than 500 years ago, it was broken by the imposition of Western culture, come to blot out all our knowledge, history, and science, thus causing a great imbalance in the web of life. From the Mayan worldview, women have a special importance in restoring that balance because we are intimately related to life, nature, and the cosmos, which is a different way of seeing the world. Wow. The work that we do, the work that we support, fund, design, however we relate to our work right now, is about bringing this new worldview. And so when I say collective assets, what collective assets are you protecting? What are those intergenerational survival knowledges that are available to us that need protecting so that we can remain human, so that our people can survive, so that we can keep reimagining? We have to sometimes go back to go forward. When we weave, that strength of how the various parts come together is literally happening in our hands. That the actual physical way of bringing matter and energy together is there's just so much contained in it, and it deserves protecting. So maybe that's quilting. We talked about quilting. We talked about weaving. These are things that have been relegated to women as and deemed unimportant or invisible or for exploitation. And I am so proud to have learned about the work of AFEDES and to have been able to support it, because it's showing us all so much about what needs protecting, what needs reinvigorating, what deserves our attention, what can make us more radical as we protect what is our very own humanity. I sometimes think the other word of wisdom is too easy, and wisdom is too hard to find sometimes. But I want to end today by reading a poem that I wrote at the start of COVID. And it contains the word weaving, but it's about these things that we have to dare to protect at this time. It's called I Was Gonna Be an Elder. When the change arrived, when the great rebalancing was to grab us by the collar and shake, 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 I was going to be an elder. I was going to have earth available for my feet to find with only a few steps. I was going to have a shock of white hair, or maybe none at all. And in my robes, our smallest selves and birds and bees and foxes would find refuge. I was going to be an elder who could recall prophecy and poetry for every situation. I was going to prepare feasts under lights, and beloveds would gather to rest and restore. I was going to always be weaving people and stories as nets to bring us all to the surface. I was going to talk to my flowers and hold people's arms and hands as we walked, wisdom flowing in rhythm. Every word that would arise would drench each moment in love and unfettered acceptance of now, of you, of this life we share. As I was going to be an elder when the shift tilted the earth, us, back towards each other. But here we are. We are here. And she is me now. And I can love the world like that now. If I dare. Let us dare. Thank you for being with me today. And as always, here are some of the links and ways that you can reach out to me at how-matters.com. Please, anytime, I'm here for you. And we end with the Terma Collective. May our eyes remain open, even in the face of tragedy. May we not become disheartened. May we find in the disillusion of our apathy and denial a cup of the broken heart. May we discover the gift of the fire burning in the inner chamber of our being, burning great and bright enough to transform any poison. May we offer the power of our sorrow to the service of something greater than ourselves. May our guilt not rise up to form yet another defensive wall. May the suffering purify and not paralyze us. May we endure. May sorrow bond us and not separate us. May we realize the greatness of our sorrow and not run from its touch or its flame. May clarity be our ally and wisdom our support. May our wrath be cleansing, cutting through the confusion of denial and greed. May we not be afraid to see or speak our truth. May the bleakness of the wasteland be dispelled. May the soul's journey be revealed, and the true hunger fed. May we be forgiven for what we have forgotten and blessed with the remembrance, the weaving of who we really are. Thank you. Have a beautiful day ahead. Take good care.